Hello, this is JamsHams Judgement. Every week I will be reviewing a thing. This is the general gist of it over here in the chat. I review everything and anything, and this week we are doing Spider-Man Far From Home because we just saw it, and I say we because we have our second ever guest on. It's Ben. You may know him from such games as Ultimate Chicken Horse, as the raccoon.
I have a plan,
Yeah,
Pam said to Sam.
Very much.
Maybe
That's all I
jam
play.
tastes good on ham.
Thank you, Hero, for the host. Yeah, so Ben's going to be helping me out today with reviewing this film, as he already kept me company watching it. We've only watched what came out of seeing it. We saw it a few hours ago, so it's fresh on the mind.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure things will slip off the old dome. I had a tough time remembering what even happened. I'm not gonna lie. Not because it was bad, just because I was like, I have a bad memory.
To be fair, I think it is partly that half the film is plot and the other half is sort of like slice of life stuff. So it's kind of, it gets muddled in between. You sort of...
Yeah, there's a lot of teen angst to mix in with the Spider-Man film, isn't there? Anyway, as always with film reviews, I'm gonna start off with the general gist of what took place in the film, probably skipping over a bunch of things, but what should be the most important story bits and bobs. So the film starts out with Nick Fury and Maria Hill, as seen in previous Marvel movies, investigating some elemental monster attacks in some country somewhere in the world. And then we instantly, first 2 minutes of the film, run into Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, aka Fishbowl Head, who is trying to stop the elemental attacks. And that's the opening of the film. Doesn't start with Spider-Man. It opens with Fishbowl Head. But smash cut to Peter Parker, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and him and his class are preparing to go on a field trip to Europe on some sort of science trip. And Peter really wants to go on this trip because he's planning to take a break from being a superhero. He's gonna leave his suit behind and have a nice old break and try to woo MJ with a very weird and convoluted plan involving a necklace and the Eiffel Tower. Thank you for the lurk, Haldor, and hello. So it gets right into it. Instantly, Spider-Man is far from home. They go to Europe. They start off in Venice. But oh no, more elemental attacks. Oh no, in Venice of all places. What are the odds? It's right where Spider-Man is. So Venice is attacked by a water elemental, and then Mysterio, Fishbowl Head, stops it again. Everyone, yay, Mysterio, woo, best hero, yay. And Nick Fury tracks down Spider-Man for his help, and he also gives him some special glasses that were Tony Stark's glasses. So it's got AI and what else does it have? It's it's like
connections to satellites and
Yeah.
Just all this technology. Essentially, it's like a big old helpful. Do this for me, yes sir.
Yeah, basically gave him access to all Tony Stark's bits and bobs that he left behind, like weapon systems, defense systems, you name it. It's got it in these special little glasses.
It's essentially Jarvis glass.
Yeah, it's Jarvis, but it's called Edith. What does that stand for again?
Even dead, I'm the hero.
Yeah, there we go. So there we go. Attacked by water elemental. Yep. And then Jaina did come in. It was actually the shaman class all along, and it was just that was the twist at the end. It was just one big Hearthstone game. It was Rexar's Beast Spiders against Quentin Beck's Elemental deck. Pretty crazy. Yeah, we didn't expect the Blizzard tie-in, but you know, it was there.
Gotta get sponsorship somehow.
Yeah, I guess that most of their money came with that. Right, so Peter gets these special glasses. Sounds like it came with a note as well, saying something about being the next Iron Man, but it was a bit vague, which led to complications later. Well, it wasn't vague, but turns out Peter's a big dum-dum.
He's smart when he wants to be.
Yeah, he's a weird mix of smart and big dumb. Weird. So yeah, so Fury says he needs some help, and Peter's like, nah mate, on holiday, back off, mush. Actually, no, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. He does. Well, he meets with Fury in the sewer or something. They have a weird little sewer base or something, which I guess is like the remainder of S.H.I.E.L.D. or they're going around. And Peter meets Fishbowl Man, Quentin, dumb name. And Quentin says he's from another version of Earth, a different universe. He says that there are multiverses, and then when Thanos did all his bits and bobs, it ripped holes in the space-time continuum, blah 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 blah, slipped through cracks, and so did these elementals. Apparently these elementals destroyed his Earth, is that right? They destroyed the Earth, or just his family, or the Earth, including his family?
Yeah, essentially.
So that...
the one elemental, actually.
Oh yeah, it was the fire one. The fire one's the most dangerous one, because he uses the core of the Earth, or some garbage.
Flameo Hotman.
Yeah. Flame on. So yeah, the fire one's the most difficult. So by this point, Fishbowl Man has defeated 3 of the 4 elementals, and there is just the fire one left. So the most dangerous one is left, and he says, if we don't stop this now, the world will end. Yada yada, superhero garbage. And they know where it's going to attack because it's attacking in the same pattern as it did back on Fishbowl Man's home planet. So they know it's gonna attack Prague. Yeah, it is Prague, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Prague.
Okay, so Fury's like, Peter, you have to go to Prague. But Beda was like, nah, please no, I want to woo. I wish to woo. So he says no. Wait, does he say no? Am I getting confused here?
Yeah, he says no because he wants to go to Paris with and do his all big.
Yeah, he wants to do his
big plan thing, and then Fury's like, okay, do what you want. You're not ready.
Oh
for this.
yeah, okay, yeah. I did. I think I missed out a big bit on my summary. Oh no, I didn't. There it is. I just can't read apparently. So yeah, Peter does say no, and then Nick Fury's like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. However, Nick Fury secretly takes over the whole school trip, redirects them from Paris to Prague, so they all have to go to Prague anyway. So Peter's sort of forced into helping. Fury is a bit sympathetic and makes him a new suit, a new like Spider-Man noir-esque black stealth suit, in order to somehow hide his identity, even though it's clearly still Spider-Man. So they're in Prague now. Peter's reluctantly agreed to help. The fire elemental appears, and him and Mysterio manage to beat it. Astoundingly, people don't realize it's Spider-Man and think it's a new superhero called Night Monkey. I think Ned came up with that one as well. Good old Ned. So Night Monkey and Mysterio beat back the fire elemental, and the day is saved, the world is saved. And then after a job well done, Mysterio goes to Peter, let's go get some bevies in you, boy. So they go to the pub. Believe it or not, this does happen. Fully superhero suited, just masks off, so I guess identity crisis over. I guess he now doesn't care, because he's unmasked, having a lemonade, and Quentin's having a big old brewski. And they have a little chat. It's a nice little chat. Like, Quentin's like being like a father figure, giving him advice about girls and whatnot. And then Peter did the dum-dum. He did the dum-dum move and said that Quentin deserved to be the new Iron Man and relinquished control of these fancy glasses and all the technology that goes with it to Fishbowl Head. Well, seemingly all was well, because obviously he is like the new big hero. None of the other Avengers were around to do anything. So yeah, in theory, maybe good move. But then instantly after that, there is the biggest expositional scene you'll ever see in a movie, where Mysterio suddenly becomes evil and reveals all of his evil plans to all of his evil henchmen. So how this is revealed is obviously Mysterio is a master of illusion and everything, so the bar turns out to be, well, half there, half not. Half of the patrons were holograms, and he changed the look of everything, and it turned out everyone in the bar was actually working for Beck, Fishbowl Man, and they were all somehow either wronged or fired by Tony Stark in the past. So they want to see what is it they want to do. They want to I think they want to like make the everyman the hero. Like they said something like, you don't need to like shoot lasers and have a cape to sort of have the power and make the right decisions, or something like that, wasn't it?
Well, Beck kept saying that the people need something to believe in, and they'll believe in anything. So he wanted everyone to believe his grand illusion, and through that, their work is being appreciated in some way, even if they don't realise it.
Okay.
I think that's what he's getting at.
Okay, yeah.
And sort of, at the same time, a big fuck you to Tony. He was dead.
Yeah, it was a bit. It was very. They tried to explain it, but it was It was very on the nose. He was literally on the table making a speech to all of his evil henchmen. It was. And they don't really bring it up again after that either. They just...
No, it was just, here's why.
Yeah, these are the reasons I am bad. And here is also exactly how I'm accomplishing my evil deeds.
It was like Oprah. It's like, you're a bad guy. You're a bad guy. We're all bad guys.
He was going around the room pointing to them and saying what evil deeds they contribute to the evil plan. Like, you're the hologram guy, and you're the person that tricks their senses, and you're the guy who was in Iron Man 1, apparently. But you got yelled at by not even Tony Stark. So you were mad at Tony or something.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it was the bad guy in Iron Man 1 that yelled at him. I'm sure. So weird. That's only just clicked in my head that it shouldn't have even been Tony Stark that he was mad at. I don't know why he's on the evil team.
No.
I mean, it was cool that they, used actual people that had been in, pretty much just extras that had been in other movies, but...
It was really cool, actually. It was a nice touch.
Yeah. Do you remember the reveal of that with like the dramatic zooms and like cut into black and white when they got revealed?
Yeah, it's like when they introduced the character in Borderlands.
It pretty much was. It was funny. I don't know whether that was meant to be funny. It probably was.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this film was very funny. Right. So now everyone knows that Mysterio is evil. Obviously, if you'd known anything about Mysterio from anything else, you'd have known he was evil from the start, which sort of would, I guess, spoil the twist. I think I'm not sure. It's tough to say whether you would have seen it coming if you didn't know who Mysterio was. I'm not sure because I think we both knew that it was coming, so it's hard to say.
I think the majority of people knew.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I tried to avoid the trailers. I don't know whether the trailers spoiled it at all either. They might have done.
No, the trailers make it look like he's the good guy still.
Okay. It's just because Sony tend to reveal a bit too much in their trailers. That's why I've avoided most of them, apart from like the first 2 or something. Right. So Mysterio and evil henchman have the glasses. So with the glasses and the newfound control over all these satellites and stuff, Mysterio can pull off his grand plan, his master ruse, which is basically to fake, well, kind of fake, because it is kind of real, because he's using drones with actual like miniguns on them, so kind of fake some sort of city-wide attack from these elementals in London, and then he'll swoop in and save the day, and then he'll be like the top dog, he'll be the top superhero, and then he'll get to make all the decisions and whatever he wants to do. I'm sure he explained it in his big speech, but I can't remember. So he now has the resources to set up his biggest ruse of all. But Spider-Man doesn't know this at this point. But soon afterwards he finds out, with the help of MJ, who has found a projector on the floor, debris from a previous battle that Spider-Man had accidentally webbed up and damaged. So she found that, and she drops it, and it shows all these elementals in the in hologram form, and they piece all the puzzle pieces together, and they find out that it was Mysterio all along. Shock horror. Oh, also, I kind of skipped an important bit about MJ finding out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of important. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense. Yeah, apparently she had her suspicions, which is, yeah, of course you do. It's blatantly obvious that he is Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's really not subtle at all.
Yeah, especially in, yeah, like they said in the Washington scene and the old one, where Peter just disappears and then Spider-Man appears from nowhere. It's like, oh, I am in Washington now, by the way. Hello, everyone. And then they're like, oh, Peter, did you see Spider-Man? He's like, oh, no, I was taking a shit or something. Worst excuses in the world. Hello, General Wiggins. How's it going? So they find out about Mysterio's plans, okay? And so Spidey needs to travel to Berlin, where he said he might meet Nick Fury. So that's where Nick Fury is, and he's gonna try and get to Fury and explain what he's done, explain his mistakes, and how Mysterio needs to be stopped. Okay. So he hops on a train, gets to Berlin. But when he finds Nick Fury, turns out that was also a ruse. The ruse master strikes again. It was all Mysterio. I don't actually know where the real Nick Fury was at that point, because he was meant to be in Berlin. Oh, I guess he just was, but because Nick Fury picked him up at the train station, didn't he? So yeah. So the real Nick Fury would have been there somewhere, but just Mysterio set up this whole fake building, made it look like some sort of, I don't know, UN building or something along those lines. And then there's huge, I can't really say fight scene, it's more just Mysterio using all of his trickery and holograms to sort of basically make Peter trip balls, and it was a very, very trippy scene with a giant Mysterio's things moving into other things and illusions, and zombie Iron Man was there. There was it was very trippy. It was a very weird, like very trippy scene, which is that's what Mysterio does. So it was pretty cool to see all that. That was a pretty nifty scene, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was definitely the best.
You're breaking up again, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Is it working better?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's definitely the best scene in the film. It showcases Mysterio's quote-unquote powers, because he's not a supervillain in the sense that he's got any abnormalities or superpowers. It's all just
he's just a guy.
Warfare. It is literally smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, precisely. But despite Mysterio being just a guy, he wins the fight because I guess he tricks Spider-Man into jumping in front of a train, and this hurts the Spider-Man. This hurts the Spider-Man, but somehow he survives. I mean, with a few of these Mysterio scenes, he ended up tricking me as well. So I thought...
He's quite the bamboozler.
He is. He's the bamboozle master. So at the end of this fight, you thought that the real Nick Fury had come in and just blasted Mysterio and killed him and ended it. But it turns out that was all a ruse. And that was another fake Nick Fury. Oh, it got me good, that bit. It got me good. I was like, oh shit. Oh, he just killed Mysterio. No, he didn't. I've been bamboozled yet again. Fair play. And at that point, he gets hit by a train. Ouchies. So he gets hit by a train, manages to crawl his way inside the train, and he wakes up in prison? Was it a prison?
In the Netherlands. It's like a holding cell. Yeah,
he wakes up in a holding cell in the Netherlands, where the people are very nice, apparently. And then he calls up Happy Hogan for help, someone who he can trust. He flies in a private jet and comes and picks him up. And they hatch a scheme to travel to London and stop Mysterio's big evil scheme. So basically, yeah, I said about Mysterio's big plan. He also needs to kill anyone who knows the truth. So anyone that Spider-Man told. So he needs to kill MJ, needs to kill Ned, needs to kill Ned's new girlfriend. What's her name? Betty Brant.
That's the one.
So yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of awkward teen romance in this film, which is great. So that's basically what Mysterio's trying to do. So they fly there. They make a new suit in the jet using Tony Stark's old Iron Man technology and all the things he had for designing Spider-Man suits and stuff. And then there's the big final fight. And basically, after the big ruse-filled fight, Spider-Man learns to use his Spidey sense, aka Peter Tingle, to to sort of he closes his eye shutters and fully uses his spider sense to get rid of all the ruses and beat the shit out of Mysterio. And then Mysterio presumably dies. Presumably, but he is a tricky boy, so maybe not.
I don't think they would kill him off. I don't think they can really kill him.
I think they may have done, but because they made an emphasis for one of his henchmen to download all the files and basically download everything.
True.
So that I reckon it would be very easy with that
I have a
technology to
plan, Pam said to Sam.
you know,
Maybe jam tastes good on ham.
alter things, that you know, edit it in post and make up shit, and like we see it at the end, which we'll get on to.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
But I think he is dead, because I don't know. He asked the glasses, like, he doesn't like explicitly say, is this man deceased, but he's like, is he like actually dead, or is this a trick? And the glasses are like, well, no illusions here, mate. So I don't know, maybe alive, maybe no.
No,
But-
I'm still convinced he's alive. He's an actor. I'm saying he's playing dead.
An actor.
He's an actor.
Yeah, I mean,
You thought I was dead, Parker.
he doesn't.
Acting.
Yeah, come to think of it, I don't really know how he is dead. Like, how did he die? Because he got shot accidentally with the drone, but then it turned out that was a fake Mysterio. So did the other one not get shot, or did that one still get shot?
I think he still got shot, but he created an illusion so that he could like move behind him quickly
Okay.
and have a Mysterio on the floor. But then I was confused because when they showed how they do the whole illusion stuff, he had to choreograph everything beforehand.
Yeah.
How they made one on the fly.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they made because they had the like rendering of his suit, didn't they? So I guess
yeah, true.
they can, put that up, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So yeah, that's the big fight. Everyone's happy. Day is saved. And then MJ and Peter have a nice old awkward smooch. It's very awkward smooch. More of a peck.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's cute.
It's a very teen kiss. Maybe, well, quite possibly first kiss for both of them, so it's very awkward and I love you MG. And then happy ending, roll credits. But the fun doesn't stop there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh no, the fun don't stop. The fun don't stop. So I put this in the what we liked section of the thing, which is the mid-credit scene. It starts off with Spider-Man taking MJ on a swing around New York. Nothing too special. Oh, cutesy wootsy moment.
Yeah.
But then there's the juiciest moment of the film. Oh, I almost popped a banana watching this. Well, we saw, I'm assuming it's in Times Square or something like that in New York. It popped up on a big screen, a big news report about the whole Mysterio thing and how they saved the day. But shock horror, new footage has appeared, which I presume has been altered by evil henchmen and like doctored and taken out of context and stuff. It basically makes Spider-Man out to be the villain and makes Mysterio out to be the hero. It's like, oh, these are my dying words. Spider-Man's the bad guy. I've managed to send all the elementals back to their own universes. And also Peter's bad. Oh, and also he's Peter Parker. Bye! Mysterio out. So Mysterio both frames Peter for basically everything and, doxes him in front of everyone. But who you may ask is reporting this news? Well, it's #1 Spider-Man fan, a J. Jonah Jameson. He's back, baby! He's back, baby! But, I mean, I would have been so... As soon as I saw there was a news report, I was like, okay, this mid-credit scene is going to be J. Jonah Jameson. I can see him coming.
Yeah.
What I did not expect was that J.K. Simmons is still playing JJ.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It was so good to see his face
it
again.
was so good. At first I thought, wait, is it really him? No, it can't be. But it was. Oh, he's back, baby. Oh.
Genuinely, on the drive to the cinema, I was thinking back over the past Spider-Man films, trying to think what are the most redeeming features. and the first thing that came to mind was J. Jonah Jameson.
He's
played by
just
J.K.
so
Simmons,
perfect.
stealing the show.
Just so
and
perfect.
It just came back, and it made my
so
day.
good. He's back, baby.
He's back, baby.
Made me so happy. But don't get too excited. It doesn't mean it's like the same universe as the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. They did make him look different. They made him bold, well, half bold. So they got rid of his signature haircut, and also the mustache is a bit more flat, not as bushy.
Yeah, it's not like the way the comics portray him.
So
which is a bit of a shame, but
I guess they have to make him look different because it's the same actor. And people are dumb and would get confused.
Yeah,
they will still get confused. I guarantee you, they will be confused by this. Some people, at least.
I did like their twist on it, where they made him look a lot like Alex Jones.
Yeah, they made him like instead of like a newspaper man, he's sort of kind of like a conspiracy theorist guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's interesting. It's a bit more similar to the J. Jonah Jameson of the PS4 Spider-Man, where he runs a podcast, and it's you hear the broadcast as you're swinging around, and he basically just trashes Spider-Man and has these like insane theories about what's actually going on. So it's a bit more.
Yeah, exactly that.
It's a bit more like that, which is cool. So that's the mid-credit scene. I won't go over the other end credit scene because that is going in the section that we did not like. Well, I didn't like it, at least.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't really relevant.
It just made the whole thing weird. We'll get there. Yeah. So second thing I liked was just all the Peter stuff, all the Peter Parker stuff. He's a good Peter Parker. He's meant to be a big old nerd and a big old dweebus, and they nailed him being the big old dweebus. It was very awkward teen things. It brought me back to my school days where I was like, oh, I did things like that, and that's embarrassing. Especially when it came to the girl things. It brought me tumbling back, like, oh, Jesus Christ, yep, I did that. I feel your pain, man.
It's weird because if you look at the Spider-Man films, as they've gone on, the actors are getting younger. So when Tobey Maguire did it, he's clearly an adult, and it made it really awkward when he's in high school in the first film.
Oh my god.
It didn't really make sense. And all the social interaction parts are quite clumsy and awkward, and not
they really are.
Not in a way that you enjoy.
Yeah, these are far more realistic.
In Homecoming and in Far From Home, it's been a lot more well-paced, well-spaced out between action and slice of life. The interactions are a lot more relatable. They also seem more fluid.
I'd say there's a lot more Peter Parker in this than I think in Homecoming. I'm not sure, but there seems.
That's why it's also nice to have like sort of the Ned side stories, because there's never been a sort of psychic friend in any of the Spider-Man films so far, and in these last two, it's good to have a friend of Peter Parker. Someone to take the limelight away.
It's good to have a friend that just isn't Harry Osborn that will inevitably turn evil, like in the other two.
In the first one, Ned was quite helpful and almost pivotal to the plot. And this one, he's just there as a friend and to provide some like sort of tongue-in-cheek comic relief.
We all love Ned.
Everyone loves Ned. He's too likable.
He is. So yeah, Ned had his own that was. Oh yes, he's the new Iron Man. Iron Ned. Oh, I'd watch it.
The real Ned Stark.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, it fits so well. But yeah, speaking of Ned and the comedy, very funny film.
It is.
Comedy was on point. I don't think I can't think of a joke that didn't really land for me.
No.
They're not all like laugh out loud, ho ho ho, funny, but you know, pretty good, pretty solid. I'd say, pretty good.
It keeps your attention. You're not feeling bored or feel like it drags on at all.
Especially because it's less Spider-Man and more just teenage story. It's just a bit more light-hearted, and they're
Yeah,
on
exactly.
holiday, and everyone's having a good old time. Apart from
Yeah.
being attacked by monsters in every single city they go to.
Yeah.
But hey ho. But yeah, having said that, the Spider-Man bits were also very cool, as expected. Especially I thought in the final fight there were some cool uses of webs, and obviously I mentioned the spider sense. I really liked the where he full on just used his spider sense in the final bit, where he was basically going blind and just still fucking shit up. That was,
Yeah, it was
very tasty.
It reminds you of like the old, like the blind samurai sort of gimmick, where they completely shut off all senses apart from like they hear like the swishing of grass and they
like the blind guy in Rogue One.
Yeah, exactly.
It was pretty much that, but a bit better.
Yeah, no, all the action sequences are brilliant. It's all very nice. It's cool that it shows how quickly Peter can think on his feet and plan moves ahead of time just to give himself the advantage.
Yeah, like we said, sometimes dumb, but oftentimes very smart boy.
Yeah.
Sometimes dumb.
Oh yeah, it's like they put on AC/DC's Back in Black and he goes, "Oh, I love Led Zeppelin."
Yeah.
He's dumb. Then he talks about quantum universes and starts building his own spider suit and planning out all sort of like, oh, increase electricity by 25% and all this shit.
Yeah, it does flip flop around. I guess he's like book smart but not street smart.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that, but that makes sense because he's meant to be a nerd.
Yeah, he's a big old nerd.
Big old dungus.
Oh, I bet he does have a big old dungus.
Oh,
Lucky MJ. Oh, he also called his penis a web shooter, which I appreciated. Which I will definitely be adopting from now on.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's so gross when you think about it. Just, web shooter. Oh, gross.
Thwip MJ.
Speaking of yogurt slingers, Happy is getting some puss, isn't he?
Jesus Christ.
I told you.
What segue was that?
Wow, he's getting his dick wet, isn't he?
Well, he wants to at least.
Mr. Hogan is definitely happy. No, I think it was implied that he was, because Aunt May said it was a summer fling. That implies banging.
Yeah,
I don't know about you. To me, that implies some banging. I told you before you went to go see it that there will be some Happy May action, and you were suspicious and didn't believe me.
I thought you were joking.
No.
It would be a subtle hint, but no, it's continued throughout the entire film, and it's confirmed.
It is. Oh, it's definitely confirmed. Oh dear.
Jon Favreau finally getting that payoff that he's been waiting for.
Yeah. Well, he's put the work in. Technically, he started the whole MCU. In a way, he directed Iron Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, give Happy some poon. That's what we want.
We got many a time.
Yeah, seems it. That's pretty much all I can say about the Happy thing. I mean, I'm just glad in general that Happy was in it, and he actually did some stuff which was cool.
Yeah, it was nice that he's sort of like the father figure replacing Tony.
Yeah, he's like the... Well, at the start you thought that Mysterio would be that guy, but then Happy's the real father figure. But people have also said though that if this Aunt May Happy Hogan thing, if it comes to a head and they maybe get married, then
Uncle Happy.
Yeah, Unky Happy. But you know what happens to Spider-Man's uncles?
Oh God.
Yeah. So maybe we don't want that. Maybe in order to save Happy, we need to stop him getting laid. Operation Save Happy Hogan.
Oh, it's kind of sad though.
But yeah, just all the little like side plots like that were just light-hearted. Like Ned suddenly getting a girlfriend throughout the course of a plane journey was great. I didn't see that going, but that was cool.
Yeah, he just swooped straight in there.
Oh, it's great. So yeah, Ned had his summer fling of his own. I also noticed when I was just looking up like a plot synopsis when I was writing down the script, I noticed in pictures that they were also him and Betty were like oftentimes wearing matching clothes as well.
Yes, yeah, they were.
I didn't notice that in the film, but I saw a screenshot. And I was like, oh, they're cute. No,
when they went, I think it's when they got to Prague, or maybe when they're just leaving Venice, wherever it was. They were in like a matching sort of Hawaiianish shirt, hats, and all this sort of stuff.
Cute.
They really went full on hardcore relationship.
Yeah, but I remember doing that sort of thing, not when I was that age, but like younger, maybe like first school. Instead of saying like, oh hey, I like you, it would just be, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
I know we have spoken like 2 times, but do you want to be my girlfriend, please? It's like, it was sort of that sort of first foray into relationships and not knowing what actually goes on.
Yeah, true.
But hey, good on Ned. I hope he had fun. Hope he had fun. I was thinking about this. There was a scene when they were on the plane, on the private jet, flying to London, where there was just a scene where it was Dorset coast.
Yes.
Now, I was like, for context, Dorset is the county where we live.
Hell
and,
yeah.
And to see that in a Spider-Man film was like, wait, what? Why is that there? But upon further inspection and looking back, I believe that would change depending on where you watched it. So if you watched it in, say, Devon, it would have said like, it would have had a different shot inserted there and said Devon Coast. Because it was, thinking back on it, it was so out of place.
Yeah.
And unnecessary. But I think it was just like a cool little thing, like, oh, you're watching this in the UK, this is set in the UK now, and this is where you live, this will make you happy.
Looking back on it, I think you're right, because it was just a quick snapshot, told you where the snapshot was from, and then there's no. And then
they were instantly in London. It was just some cliffs, wasn't it? It wasn't Old Harry Rocks, was it?
That's what I was thinking. I was because it
was very quick.
It would have to be. So I can't think of what else of a coastline you can have other than just the Jurassic Coast.
Yeah, it looked like Dorset anyway, but I reckon because films have done that in the past where they change depending on where you see it. Like, films have had different, I can't remember what film it was, but the films have had different endings even depending on what cinema you saw it in.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was some murder mystery movie had different endings depending on where you saw it. And then obviously when it came out on like DVD or anything, you could see all of them.
Yeah,
so
like the bonus features, whatever.
Yeah, so I'm guessing. I tried to Google it, but no one else has mentioned it. So I don't know whether everyone just assumed, oh, we're in the movie, or whether it was just a huge coincidence. And for some reason, it did just say flying over the Dorset coast.
There's no need for it, but it did make me happy.
It made me happy. I was like, oh, that's where we are. Spider-Man's coming to visit. Whoa. But I'm sure as people see it and realise there'll probably be an article or something that I'd like it confirmed. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Even
if it takes until I see it like on DVD or streaming or something, and like it just says South Coast, or it doesn't even have it at all. I need that confirmed because I have my suspicions and no one else online has noticed apparently. I've tried tracking it down. I couldn't find it.
But what if everyone just assumes it's their own place and it's meant to be like that?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the position we're in. Maybe I'm the first. Maybe we're the first to notice ever. This could be a hot scoop.
You've got the first one to notice the ultimate Mysterio bamboozle.
Yeah. Maybe the whole UK was wrong. Maybe it wasn't even London. It was just Bournemouth. That's why it's such a shithole. It's been destroyed by elementals.
Oh,
I say Bournemouth. Let's go Boscombe.
Yeah, boss comes to shithole.
Yeah, I'm
Bombs
glad
are
we can all agree on that. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up and just like, am I going crazy here? I also liked references and stuff. One reference I did really like, I don't know why I liked this one out of all of them, is it was right at the end. I think it might have even been in one of the post-credit scene when he's swinging through New York. He takes a selfie on his phone, and the selfie on his phone is exactly like pixel for pixel the selfie you take if you take a selfie in the PS4 game. Like he does like the peace sign and like the angle is exactly the same, and I don't know. It's like, oh, I played that game. It made me happy. I also
it was a nice little extra.
Yeah. Apparently, the Spider-Man PS4 suit was in there as well, but I didn't see that. Maybe in one of those like the holograms when he was like designing the suit or something. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
I didn't see it. Speaking of references, though, as far as I'm aware, there's no Stan Lee, which I thought was good. Did you see?
They had the little memorial at the end, which I think was that. It had, like,
they said
dedicated to Stan Lee and another
Steve
name I
Ditko.
recognize. That's the one.
Yeah, the two creators of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who both died, but Stan Lee got the limelight.
Yeah, like I said, there's no need to add Stan Lee in.
Yeah, I'm very glad they didn't have some weird CGI thing, and I think Endgame was a good point for his last cameo.
Yeah, literally his Endgame.
Yeah, which I'm glad they didn't do anything like that.
Yeah, it would have been unnecessary and a bit forced if they did.
Yeah. Like, it would be fine if he pre-recorded it like he did for Endgame, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
Not like, don't like shove him in for no reason.
No.
So yeah, anything else that you liked about the film that we have missed?
Well, I've been excited for this film for a long time because Spider-Man's my favourite superhero, and Mysterio is a villain that I've wanted to see in a film for a long time now. It was refreshing to see, because all other villains we've seen so far have all been brawn-based.
Oh yeah, he was a very different villain.
Green Goblin, yeah, exactly. It was all psychological warfare, which is great.
Yeah, that was very good. It was very different.
That illusion sequence was fantastic. It really showcased what he was all about, how advanced the illusions are, and just how much he can mess you up, not even by touching you, because he was never there.
No.
Spider-Man fighting himself.
Yeah, because it's like, if he was there, he'd just get dicked, because he's just a guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's why he's got to rely on Spider-Man essentially fighting himself and punching,
jumping in front of the train.
Yeah. But I really loved it. It went on a bit longer than necessary, I feel.
Yeah.
He just kept sort of regurgitating the same lines, trying to psych him out. But then he gets hit by a train, it all pays off.
Yeah. And suddenly, train. He was a good villain. So yeah, it's good. It's kind of a good ending, because often they shy away from killing people, but
yeah.
I guess maybe he's not dead, because then obviously they could do a Sinister Six kind of thing. But even so, they have all like the recordings and the like holograms of him, so someone could just take over and
often in comics,
and become them, because they've still got all the technology.
Yeah, often villains and heroes get replaced by someone else to take up the mantle again later, so they could easily do that.
And at the end they faked him calling out and framing Spider-Man, so if they can do that, they can, I don't know, deep fake henchman number 1 to be the new Mysterio.
It was also interesting that, I'm not sure if this is the first one, but I feel like it might be, the first Spider-Man film that didn't have a secondary villain. Because in Homecoming, I know it's very short-lived, but they had the Shocker as well as the Vulture.
Oh yeah, I guess. Well, I guess the Elementals were sort of the...
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess, but then... It depends what half of the film you're watching, because
yeah, true.
They suddenly become the same villain.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Oh, I guess
it's not a unique one. I kind of liked that he didn't have two.
Yeah, I guess maybe the second villain is hormones. Or maybe
crippling anxiety when talking to
yeah.
MJ.
Or maybe it's his
Brad,
fear of
what do you
Happy banging May.
Yeah, he's feared of that other guy getting to her first.
Oh, Brad, yeah.
Oh yeah, we probably should mention that they talk about the blip as well.
Oh yeah, people were like, oh, they're gonna explain how people died for 5 years. Yeah, they did. Chill out. God, people were getting so mad about that. It's like, but this doesn't make sense. But it's like, they're so easy to explain. They literally just people got older. The people that didn't get older just went back to school. That's it.
Yeah, I never even considered that. It's that everyone aged 5 years who didn't get snapped away.
And it's just pure coincidence that most of the main characters didn't get snapped, so they're fine. They're still there and the same age.
Yeah.
So it's just
when they mentioned that,
coincidence. Yeah, people were up in arms about that before it came out. Like, oh, you better address this. Oh my god, major plot hole.
It was easily explained within 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was. I loved the opening as well.
Yeah.
With the with the memoriam of all the Avengers that have died, but it was so well edited to look like some kid had done it on like Windows Movie Maker. Oh, it was so good. With the blurry picture of the Vision just pasted in there, and like with the Getty Images watermark on the pictures.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, it was great.
I also completely forgot about Vision and also Black Widow, so
yeah,
it's nice to see their faces again.
Yeah, they were so ignored in Endgame, especially Black
Vision.
Widow. Well, Vision had his moment in Infinity War, but like,
yeah, true.
They didn't. No, neither of them had a funeral, but one's not even human. So
someone threw the Hulk through a bench in the river. Alright.
This is for you. I
really tried to bring her back.
But then again, she is also having her solo film, so...
Is she?
Yeah. But apparently it's set between... Which was it? It was set between... I think it's set between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to have to be a prequel, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I don't know what they're going to do with that.
No.
Whether they're going to try and shoehorn her back in or whatever. Maybe that's why they didn't have a big thing like they did for Iron Man.
I just can't see it being interesting enough, to be honest.
No, it's just it would be like a spy film or like a John Wick, but worse.
Yeah. Because
it's a Marvel movie and you can't go as edgy and you can't have blood or people being brutally murdered.
Well, exactly.
I said about this in my John Wick review, actually. I compared a Black Widow fight scene to a John Wick fight scene and how they're different and how differently they're shot and everything. If you see if you watch a Black Widow fight from a Marvel movie, it's just pure jump cut after jump cut after jump cut, because they're not actually doing it.
Yeah.
But whereas John Wick, they actually have one continuous shot, and it's Keanu Reeves beating the shit out of these guys. So I don't know whether the Black Widow solo film will be good if they do it like that, or if they make it PG, which will be a bit weird, I guess, because she's like some cold-blooded assassin or whatever. I guess maybe not at that point. I don't know. Who knows?
She's meant to be dark and edgy, and it doesn't really suit Marvel.
Yeah.
At least as it stands now.
So, what we did not like. I only thought of a few things I didn't like about this film. One of them was the second end credit scene, like the end credit scene, which basically it showed Nick Fury and Maria Hill driving, and then they turn into Skrulls. They turn into the Talos, the main Skrull from Captain Marvel, and his wife, Skrullo, or whatever the fuck her name is. So it turns out that the Nick Fury you'd been seeing throughout the whole film had been a Skrull all along, and the real Nick Fury was in space, commanding some Skrull spaceship doing something. It didn't explain what he was doing up there. It was just a very weird and out of place end credit scene, which it had an impact for the whole film, because now when you rewatch it, you're like, you'd know that they're not really who they are. Which
yeah, the personality should have been a lot more different.
Yeah, it's really weird. It didn't. Yeah, that's why I think that's why it didn't really fit, because like, yeah, you still act like Nick Fury, but you should be slightly different, like you are in Captain Marvel. Because that's how like Nick Fury figures out who the Skrulls are in the first place, because he's like, one of them calls him Nicholas rather than Nick, and he's like, oh, no one calls me Nicholas. What's going on here? So there should have been like things like that if they're gonna shove that on the end, I think.
I don't know, thinking back on it, there was a line in the film where it goes, 5 years ago I knew everything, and now I know nothing. Obviously that refers to the blip where he disappeared for 5 years. But in a way, I sort of feel like that could
I guess that covers it up a bit.
Coincidental, which I think it probably was. Or it could be like a little hint where I don't know anything, don't ask me anything, because I don't know anything. I'm not Nick Fury.
Yeah, there was also, I thought about this as well, there was also a moment where, you know, that the scene in the trailer where Peter's like, oh, what about Thor? Oh, he's off-world. What about Doctor Strange? Unavailable. And then he said, what about Captain Marvel? And then I think Nick Fury said a really weird line after that. It's like, do not invoke her name, I think he said. It's like, what? Excuse me? That's a weird thing to say. So maybe that was a Skrull thing to say or something. I don't know why, because they're mates.
Yeah, they're more likely to like her than anyone.
Yeah, do not invoke her name. It's a bit weird. I don't know, but I guess that might have been a hint. And I get that it was just a bit weird, because I'm assuming that's going to lead into the next Captain Marvel movie. It was a bit weird to have that tacked on the end of a Spider-Man sequel. I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's especially because Nick Fury is meant to be all about protecting the Earth, saving the Earth, but now he's
in space, apparently.
Exactly.
I watched a video briefly, and apparently there is like at one point in the comics he makes an outer space version of S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't remember what it's called, but people have said that maybe that's what he's doing, but who knows? It literally does not say what he's there, it just says he's in space. But yeah, I didn't think that added anything. It just made things a bit more confusing, and like, why the hell did you do that? Especially after such a good mid-credit scene, it's just to add that on, but it's just a bit of a kick in the teeth.
It was a bit of a come down after the whole J. Jonah Jameson reveal. Also, everyone knows who Spider-Man is now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's going to be cool, because that's one of the main things that happens in the Civil War comics. Spider-Man publicly reveals his identity as part of signing the accords and all the agreements, but obviously that didn't happen in the films. So it basically puts him in that position. So it'd be interesting that they've actually done that. Or maybe just no one will believe it because it's a crackpot conspiracy theorist channel, like we said.
Yeah,
might be a big old bamboozle again.
I was going to say, most people don't know who Peter Parker is, but they flashed an image of him straight after.
Yeah, they showed his passport photo. I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Look at this dude.
Look at this dude. Well, the other thing that I put down as not liking was a bit of the whole Mysterio story, which was the fact that it was very similar to the motivation in Homecoming, where pretty much people were just angry at Tony Stark, and because they were angry at Tony Stark, they took it out on Spider-Man, or Spider-Man just got really like caught up with it, and like it's just a bit weird now that even though Tony Stark's dead, he still had like a major role. And like there wasn't any new, like Robert Downey Jr. didn't come back. It was all old footage of him.
Well, there wasn't really any footage of him. It's just pictures.
There was like a few scenes from old movies and stuff like that. But it's just a bit weird how they, I don't know, they sort of clung to the whole Tony Stark thing from the first one and Endgame, and sort of trying to ride that out. But it wasn't really necessary. Like, Spider-Man doesn't need to be the new Iron Man, but there was a scene in the plane where Peter was just acting a bit like Iron Man, designing things, and like he did look like Iron Man, did like the whole spiel of like using like the augmented reality holograms to design things and stuff like you see in all the Iron Man films. And then Happy, as if to hammer the point home, Happy puts on AC/DC to make it not subtle at all. But yeah, I don't know why they hung on to that so much.
I quite liked the Iron Man stuff because it did fit in well after Endgame, because Iron Man was essentially, a lot of people saw him as the leader of the Avengers, even though I guess it's technically Captain America.
Nah.
But he was like a big. He came up with a lot of the plans. He forwarded a lot of technology. He essentially funded the Avengers.
Yeah, funded the whole thing.
Yeah. So because Spider-Man was picked by Tony Stark was a big father figure for him, inspired him, pushed him to be better. He felt like he should be living up to it, because a lot of the Avengers are gone or retired essentially. So he was worried that people wanted more of him and expected him to become the next Tony Stark. He doesn't need to be. I don't think he should be. But I didn't really mind that they had a revenge plot based on that. But I didn't like Mysterio's motivation. The revenge,
it could have been better.
Yeah, revenge. He got fired. Fair enough. He has a whole crew, which I really liked. It wasn't just him, because a one man. If he tried to do that whole plot one man, it wouldn't. Yeah,
that would just wouldn't work.
Having a huge team behind him really.
Yeah.
It exaggerated the effect that Tony Stark had. But when he's explaining his motivation and what he wants to achieve, that didn't really settle. It seemed very clouded. He didn't really know what he wanted. He wanted to be respected, and he wanted his work to be appreciated, which I kind of get. But he also wanted to kill Nick Fury for whatever reason. He wants to have control of his, he wants to have control of that satellite through Edith, which why do you need that?
Yeah, he was already like a big hero in most people's eyes. I don't see why he needed to actually well, that's a bit I did like about Mysterio. When at one point when they were practicing like and choreographing it all in some warehouse, you could see that Mysterio was also batshit insane and was like training. If something didn't go right, like one of the hologram things was broken, and they like trained guns to like kill the guy, and it's like, you've fucked up my thing, I'm going to kill you. Yeah. So you can see that he's actually pretty insane as well. It's not just pure, oh wow, I got fired. He's actually not right in the head.
Yeah.
So I guess that explained it a bit more.
It just seems a bit of a weird direction. He wanted to be admired as a hero, but through villainous ways. It just seemed a bit strange.
Yeah, I suppose not. But no one was meant to know. Stupid Spider-Man ruining my bamboozle.
That someone would see through this illusion when all it takes is one Dro to go off.
Yeah.
And everyone gets suddenly revealed.
Or it took someone to, like at the end battle, if you walked into the cloud, you could see all the drones. It's like,
It starts on the bridge, so if you're in a car in the center of that, you'd be like, oh.
Yeah, you'd look around like, okay.
But I guess they would just kill anyone that's inside it.
Yeah, I guess so. And then that was also part of his plan, just kill anyone that knew the truth.
Yeah, true.
Which, not a great plan, but
no,
at least he tried.
I did like the bit where they send Miss Thingy Hill. What's her name?
Who?
Nick Fury's right-hand girl.
Maria Hill
sends her to.
Oh no, technically Scrollo.
Sorry, Scrollo girl gets sent to find the invisible drone and somehow manages to train on it with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
And then when it reveals itself, she just shoots it. Pretty risky plan, considering anything could have destroyed that drone.
And also, grenade launcher right in front of Nick Fury as well. That's as bad as the drone.
I was just thinking, like, if she misses because this drone is invisible, that's a lot of collateral damage down below.
Yeah, a lot of civilians in London, aren't there?
Just a few.
But I guess then maybe that's another sign that they weren't the real deal. That they were being dum-dums and they weren't experienced or something. And why would Nick Fury trust that guy to run operations on Earth? He's not even from Earth.
Allegedly.
I don't know. The whole end credit scene did me a mischief, I think.
Yeah, it has sort of clouded everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. Is there anything else that you didn't like about the film?
I don't really think so. I'm confused with Flash. They keep trying. What is he meant to be? Because he's a bully. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's what he's been in all the comics. But
now he's Jake Paul. I think
he seems like a bit of a loser, to be honest. And also, they keep shoehorning in like little sad moments, like when he gets back home. He's like, "Oh, my parents are busy."
Yeah. Oh, mother couldn't make it. I see.
Yeah, and then it just cuts to Aunt May, and it's all good again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's trying to put out this big deal persona. I guess that's his deal, I suppose. But a lot of the characters just keep on changing. Like what they've done with MJ is just fucking weird. I think it's just really weird. I don't really get. All of her dialogue just seems really awkward and like stuff. They try to explain it when they're all about to die, and she's like, "Oh, I have to tell the truth even though people don't like it." I was like, "That's not what you do. You're just a bit of a dick most of the time."
She just likes her dark stuff. She's into the macabre and death and all that sort of stuff, which is fair enough. I quite liked the sort of dark, edgy, independent MJ. That comes across really well. But then suddenly she gets quite self-conscious around Peter Parker, which she never usually is.
Wow, so it's hormones again.
She starts getting shy and is like, "Oh, I kind of like you as well. I've been watching you from a distance." I'm like, "No, you haven't, MJ. You don't know who this guy is."
Yes, very true. Very true. I would have gone for Brad. Far less problematic.
Brad, you mean Chad? He was.
Yeah, boy.
He was a Cinderella story. He was a loser 5 years ago, and the blip came, and he came out ripped.
All the ladies want a bit of Brad.
He tries to blackmail Peter Parker. It's brilliant.
Oh, that bit is fun. Who was that Russian lady?
Yeah, that was never explained. It was just out of nowhere.
Just an excuse for that little subplot to happen, I suppose.
And there's no need for him to take off his clothes because he never put it back on. He never put the suit on anyway.
No. And what? She didn't need to watch him.
No.
Like, Peter's 16 in that film. It's a bit weird now that I think about it.
Yeah, true. Then you see his ripped abs and you think, "You're not 16." But he is definitely the most passable high school student.
Oh, definitely.
Cast for Spider-Man.
Definitely. So, what is he, a few years younger than us or something?
Yeah, he's in his early 20s, I think. But still looks very young.
He is 1 year younger than me.
Really?
Born June 1st, 1996.
Bloody hell.
A year and a month younger than me.
Nice.
It could have been me!
It could have been you.
I have the mask! It could have been me! God damn you, Tom Holland.
You could have met JJ.
Oh no, I could have lived the dream, Ben. I could have lived the dream.
You could have had an awkward Tony Stark hug.
Oh.
Then gone to his funeral.
Oh yay. I like that bit with Nick Fury. It's like, "Oh, I would have spoken to you at the funeral, but yeah, yeah, no." And also, if he was a Skrull, how did he know about the funeral? Unless the real Nick Fury didn't go to the funeral, which is just a dick move. Like, how long has that Nick Fury been a Skrull?
I think the Skrull must have just been informed or kept up to date on social stuff, like big events.
I guess.
I don't know.
See, it caused problems.
Yeah,
it caused
retcons
problems.
the plot, I know. It's
weird.
Stupid.
But anyway, I think I've. There's probably a bunch more that I'll remember as soon as we stop. But overall, I'm gonna judge this shit. I'm gonna give it the old JamsHams Judgement. So I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10 hams. Good
Nice.
Spider-Man film.
Hell yeah, it is.
Would you agree, Ben?
Absolutely, I'd absolutely recommend it to anyone. I loved the film. I thought it was brilliant. It lived up to my expectations. It was. I'm not sure it's better than Homecoming, but it's just as good. Which for a sequel is high praise.
I don't. It's very different from Homecoming, I guess, because it's a very different setting.
Yeah.
And also the villain is very different, and probably, is it better? I don't know. Kinda.
I like this kind of villain more because it's fresh, it's different to all the others.
Yeah, because Vulture was basically like a Falcon suit, so or like an Iron Man kind of deal. We've seen
it's
all
still
that.
brute strength overall.
Yeah. I've been trying to decide whether I liked this one more or less than Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
Because Spider-Verse,
Spider-Verse.
It's a damn good Spider-Man film, but so is this. So I don't know. I think I might like this one more because I have a bias towards Peter Parker rather than Miles Morales. Because Spider-Man, not new Spider-Man.
No, it's what you're familiar with, isn't it? It's what you're going with.
I'm kind of sad. I knew that the multiverse thing was going to be bullshit from Mysterio, but I'm also kind of sad because that might have opened up a live-action Spider-Verse thing, which I would have been very pumped for. Because, the dream is to have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, all the different Spider-Men just coming together for one film. That would be amazing. And I thought this might have been the gateway.
They've already opened up numerous timelines through Infinity War.
Yeah,
Endgame even.
Yeah, they mentioned it. It's possible that there's a multiverse, but whether they'll bring that in or not, maybe they
Probably
will.
not.
Maybe J. Jonah Jameson is the key. Maybe it is the same character. Maybe he's one of the ones that did slip through, and that's why he's got all these crazy theories.
Just
he could be the key.
J.K. Simmons screaming, "Bring me pictures of Spider-Man."
Oh, please! Each with slightly different mustaches.
Yeah.
Oh, great! That would be amazing.
I'd pay to see that.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much Spider-Man: Far From Home covered. Unless anyone else has anything else they want to, bring up, any questions or theories, I don't know, anything. But if not, we'll end it there for the podcast and the YouTubes. I'll just do the outro now. This has been JamsHams Judgement. Every week we'll be reviewing a thing. If you have a thing to review, put it in my Discord, preferably. I've got a suggestion box section in my Discord, or just send me a message or a tweet or a whatever. All my social media links are in that Linktree link there, if you want to find me. But I'm guessing there's nothing else from anyone, so thank you all for watching. Thank you to Ben for seeing Spider-Man with me and for being my second ever guest on the podcast, so thank you very much, Ben. Yeah. And until next week, where I am about 30 minutes off of finishing the latest season of Stranger Things, so maybe I'll do Stranger Things next week. So until next week's podcast, bye-bye.